Guys, this is Paul, and welcome back to Geeks Love Dogs Book Dragons. And this will be the good, the bad, and the books. A weekly update, renamed. Hopefully, you'll want to show up and come share with me and see what's going on in the channel for the past week and what's coming up. Let's start with what I've read this week. So I read The No Mask Murder by Akamitsu Tagaki, which is a classic Japanese murder mystery, a locked room mystery, and it has kind of a unique premise in that the author is in the book, which that in itself isn't unique because it's been done. Horowitz has done it and other people have done it. What's unique to me is that the point of view character, the person telling the story, from his point of view, is not the author. He's talking about the author in the story and not necessarily in any flattering terms, which is amusing. So it's kind of a unique premise because, as you know, Dr. Watson, John Watson, talks about Sherlock Holmes. He reports Sherlock Holmes stories, and it's kind of like that, but if Sherlock himself was the author writing from John's point of view. It takes a minute to get used to, but it's unique, and I'm always there for something unique, so that's kind of interesting. As far as the mystery goes itself, it's fairly well written. It's not a bad story. I found the whole solution to the locked room itself to be a bit convoluted, a bit excessive, a bit, I don't know, overdone. It's hard to pull off a locked room mystery and not be cliche or not do something so kind of weird, extreme, kind of stretches belief. This was kind of like that. It wasn't bad though. It wasn't horrible. I just did not like the solution to the actual locked room itself. So I don't know if I came across the other book. Was it The Tattoo Murder, I believe it's called? I'd probably read it, but anyway, so that was the first thing I read this week. So next up, I actually picked The East Wind Coming out of the TBR game, if you saw it, but that was a mistake. This is actually book 3 in the series. So I went and got book 1 and read that, as I should have, which is Autumn Angels by Arthur Byron Cover. And oh boy, this might inspire me to finally go ahead and do another segment that I want to do where I do like a book report and go through like the entire book on some of these older books that I don't think you're going to read anyway. This may have been one of the most unique books I've ever read in my life. I actually took copious notes. I made a book of notes. There's actually a page just on the cover alone. So that's why I'm considering like just doing this is what I'm going to call book reports and tell you the story. I'll give you the basic rundown though. So this takes place in the far, far future when Earth is now inhabited by an entire race of people who are basically immortal. They're godlike humans, and that's how they refer to them. And they also can't have children, apparently. They don't specifically say that, but it's kind of made obvious. And everybody in the book is somebody you'd recognize from real life or fiction previous to this writing in 1975. And they never actually call them by their names. Only like 2 characters that's ever mentioned by name in the book, and they're one of them you never even see on screen, and the other one is a pig. So it's extremely unique. So in this world, everybody is happy, everything is perfect. The world is a complete utopia, and money is actually fame and glory, is your finances, your commerce. And the three here on the cover, the demon, the fat man, and the lawyer, decide that they want to increase their fame and glory by doing something that hasn't been done and depressing the world. That's making them depressed. They come up with a plan that backfires and makes them pariahs in the world. So they're spending the book trying to find ways to regain their credibility by finding a legitimate way to make everyone depressed in this perfect utopia. And it is really, really, really weird. I can't say really enough times. Like I said, the characters in this are all called by things, not by their names. Like I said, that's the demon, that's the fat man, that's the lawyer. There's other creatures in here that are extremely weird. I don't want to give anything away in case I do this as a book report. And believe me, if I do this as a book report, no matter how long it takes, you might find it interesting because, like I said, I haven't come across anything like this before. It is something really, really unique. It's actually part of a 3-book series. It's just that East Wind Coming is the 3rd book. So I did finish that. I don't even know how to rate it, so I'm not even gonna try. If you have any interest in hearing me do a full book report and going through the book from cover to cover and telling you basically what happens, let me know. And if not, I may do it anyway because whew, it's something. There are some unique conventions to what they do and who they are. Like, for example, they're all supposed to be somebody. This is supposed to be Ham from Doc Savage, the lawyer. This is supposed to be Sidney Greenstreet's the actor. The demon, I never got a clear grasp if he's supposed to be somebody else or he's a unique character there. But they say that every character in here is representative of somebody else. So part of the fun of this is figuring out who the characters are supposed to be. It was done in 75, so it's more difficult because everybody who's in it comes from prior to that or around that time. So was 7 years old when the book came out. So I may not, have a grasp on every character in there myself, but there are some that definitely came through. That's what I actually finished this week, and I wanted to finish more, but I have a bunch of books started and such, so we'll get to that next. As far as what I am reading, I'm currently trying on my first Doc Savage book, Cold Death. Not particularly loving it. It's not that thick a book, but I'm still struggling to get through it. It does remind me of, this was written in the 30s, and it does remind me as like a precursor to early Batman or Superman books or serials that you'd find before films, or old, Green Hornet or serials of the sort. And I can see this as being somewhat inspiring to Buckaroo Banzai, funny enough. But yeah, I'm working on that. That's one of the things I'm working on. I'm also reading Eric Brown's Starship Seasons. I didn't get far in it, but right off the bat, the first 25 pages, I was hooked. I love the style. This is a really unique story. It's sci-fi, but it didn't necessarily feel like that. There was an old show I watched called Key West with Fisher Stevens and Tilly. It reminded me of that, but in a sci-fi version. Guy retires and goes to a resort planet, buys a spaceship to use as his home, brings it to his property, and the spaceship's really unique because they don't know where it came from and who it belonged to. And you meet this cast of characters along the way that are just really great, really a lot of fun. And the ship itself may be haunted by the aliens that had existed in it previously, but nobody knows who these aliens are, and there's this mystery trying to figure out where the ship came from, what race had him, because they cannot figure it out. They have no idea. The creatures do not sound familiar to anybody. They are not known to any database. So, and the thing is, I told my buddy about this, and he thought it sounded great and went looking for it. And apparently it's not out there for sale anywhere anymore. I picked it up just, less than a year ago. Not a problem. I think I picked it up from Blackwell's, but even they don't have a copy anymore. And that's sad, but if you can find it, I'm barely into it, and I'm already going to highly recommend it. It's really good. It's really enjoyable. Jimmy Buffett meets sci-fi, maybe. But I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I can't wait to get back to it. I'm reading that. I'm also reading Knock Knock on my e-reader. I had mentioned that, and that's going a little slow. I'm into it. It feels even though it takes place in the state of Washington, it feels very Southern Gothic. It has to do with that kind of, perceived witches and magic, backwoods magic and stuff like that. And I'm enjoying it so far. Apparently it was part of a series. I didn't know it. I only have the first one. They're hard to find. They're out of print as well. Sensing a theme here this week. But so far I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping to get back to that soon. Let you know when I get further in or finish it, how I like it. Also reading electronically The Wolf of the North by Duncan Hamilton. It's a pretty standard fantasy story. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's very good. It's very well written. If this was maybe one of my earlier adventures into fantasy, I'd probably be loving it. I'm just a little burned out on fantasy. So it's, nothing I haven't seen before, so to speak. Like I said, don't take that wrong, because it's a really good book. It's really well told. Fun characters. It's a Viking-inspired fantasy. I would highly recommend it to anybody who wants fantasy. So far, I'm almost done. I'd give it a 4-star rating, probably easy. My issues with it, like I said, are nothing to do with the book. I'm just feeling a little fantasy burnout. I'm going to tell you right off, as far as I am into it, which is most of the way, probably going to finish it next couple days. It's really good, and if you like Viking-inspired fantasy, this is probably really underrated. You don't see a lot of Duncan Hamilton, and this is one of his earlier series. Definitely, if you're into fantasy, definitely if you're into the Viking fantasy and the storyline where you follow a kid who grows up and becomes something way more powerful. It's also told from a storyteller's point of view. He's sitting in a tavern waiting to finish out the story, and he's telling the gathered crowd about this character as he grew up and such. And it is really, really good. Like I said, my issues is, my own, the story itself, fantastic. I'm going to say, check it out. I'll tell you more when I finish it. Let's see how the ending of the first book of the trilogy lands. So far, so good, though. I also got started on Mark Lawrence's collection of short stories in the library series he's doing now. And I wanted to finish this up before his new book comes out, which would be tomorrow, Tuesday, I believe. And I want to finish this up so I can get ready for that. That's going to crash my TBR. No matter what, that goes instantly to the top of the list. Been waiting to finish out that trilogy for a while. Well, I don't really have to wait with Mark. He finishes a book a year. He doesn't make you wait. You don't have to worry about him like you would with some authors never finishing it. So, waiting is relative. I've been waiting to finish the series because I really enjoyed it and can't wait to get to the last book. But that comes out tomorrow. That's going to crash my TBR, which means as far as what I will be reading, that along with finishing these will be on top of my list. I'll be picking that up tomorrow while I ordered it. If it shows up from my on delivery, I will start reading it then, along with what I have here. And I'm a little overwhelming myself, I know, because I have another book that I'm going to start soon, and this is this. I did tried to do a short on this. In any case, this was given to me. Somebody came into work and we were talking. He's a retired Secret Service agent, and now he's an author. And this is his new book. It's a YA book, he says, but don't let that put you off because this sounds really fascinating. It's got a great cover. Scott A. Ferguson Sr. And it's being touted as Hunger Games Meets the Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick. And it's definitely got my attention. It's definitely something I want to read. And I'm going to read this. I want to do a review of this for him. He came in, like I said, he came into work and we were talking. I didn't know who he was, and we just started chatting, and and so now I have his book. He signed it for me. And I'm going to try and do a review on that like next week maybe. So check that out. Come back and check this out, because sometimes, it's an independent author, an author you haven't heard of, can offer you something different that you've not come across before that just might become one of your favorite books. So yeah, I'm going to read this. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for it, and do a review for this and post it, and hopefully you'll be there for it. So in any case, that's what I'm going to be reading. And I know it's a lot. I'm putting myself on the spot here, I think. Leave that right there so you can enjoy the nice cover. What was on the channel this week? I did my TBR game, and I did my weekly and monthly wrap-ups. So they're available if you want to see what happened last month. They're there for you. Coming this week, well, after this video, I have a very unexpected book haul. Paperback book haul. I made an unexpected trip to my local used bookstore and brought home a whole bunch of books again. Yep, I'm probably going to be buried under the porch again. So check that out. I'll post that. I'm uploading it now, so it'll probably be posted Wednesday. And then I have an idea for a new series I want to do, where a spotlight. So I'm not going to say anything about that until I can sort all the details, because I haven't started it yet. But hopefully I can post that Friday, where I spotlight something, somebody, the series, an author, something I own. And anyway, I'm going to try to get that up by Friday. So that'll be this week. And like I said, I'm considering doing that book report on Autumn Angels. And if you're here for that, wow, that's something. It might be, by the way, it'll be maybe not safe for work. Adults, a little bit, not adult, not dirty, not bad, nothing that, that'll be too out of hand. But I don't know if it's too kid friendly, just because of a couple small parts in it. Yes, I hope you show up if I do manage to get that done, because that's going to be an effort. That's going to take a while. It's going to be a pretty long video, and I'll see if I can split it up into one or two if it needs to be, that is. So let's talk about what I watched this week. And I finally did finish Dexter Original Sin. I'm a fan of the Dexter series. I loved that series. I know the controversy about the ending and the sequel series, but I actually thought most of this was done pretty well. Guy playing young Dexter wasn't bad. I was thrilled to see the story that led up to Dexter and Brian and what happened with their dad and Deb and how they all got where they were. I didn't think it was bad. Your mileage may vary, and that's fine. We're all entitled to our opinion. I didn't think it was bad. Still can't stand Matsuko. He's a terrible character. He's in this. He's basically Quagmire. It's just that's kind of annoying. And Angel, the character of Angel, really looks like Angel, but I don't think the actor himself is a very good actor. And sometimes it just, I mean, I felt that they could have, I think they cast based on looks and not on talent, because some of the lines he delivered did not feel right. But other than that, I think they did a pretty good job. I actually enjoyed the series, so if you're a Dexter fan, check it out. But it was worth a watch. I kind of enjoyed it, and I know they're doing a second season, and I'll probably be there for that. I'll check it out. And I know they're doing another sequel series, and I don't know if it'll be good or bad, but I'm going to check that out as well. So let's move on to what I listened to. If you care, I decided I've been in a cyberpunk mood, so I went back to, was it 1993, and was listening to Billy Idol's Cyberpunk. This album's kind of classic. I mean, it really does have a feel like you're listening to music based around cyberpunk. I enjoyed the album when it came out, which is why I bought it. Still have the original copy. This is mine that I bought back in 93. And as somebody who's a huge cyberpunk fan, I think I bought it for the gimmick of it more than anything else, even though, was it Shock to the System when it released? I actually enjoyed the song. But it's actually a good album. I think it holds up really well. If you're into Billy Idol, if you're into the cyberpunk genre, I really do think it holds up. I enjoyed listening to it. I'm going to go through and listen to it again. Very cyberpunk-ish art. In any case, that's what I was listening to this week, if you care. And that'll pretty much wrap up my week. And I appreciate you being here so much. Like I said, and that'll be going forward. I will call it the good, the bad, and the books. And it'll basically encompass my weekly wrap-ups and what I read, what I'm going to read, what I'm currently reading, and some random nonsense. So hopefully you'll show up for it. Hopefully you'll come share with me and spend some time with me. I really appreciate you guys who do show up. And so anyway, I won't keep you much longer. Remember, the secret to Zen is pet dogs, read books, listen to metal, and hopefully I'll see you back here real soon. Thank you for showing up. Talk to you later. Bye.